Now, the collapse of Washington Mutual is by far the largest bank failure in our nation's history. What's it going to take to climb out of this crisis?
Well, it's going to take action to settle the markets in a way and let the world as well as the United States know that we are taking control, that in fact this slide is going to be stopped. And the way you do that is you make sure that you in fact make sure you treat the taxpayers like investors in this operation. You make sure that the CEOs don't get to walk away with some large profits and golden parachutes here. And you make sure as well that you have a circumstance where you focus on Main Street as well as Wall Street. I mean, we're having 8,000 to 10,000 foreclosures a day. Thousands of them in your state of Florida a month. And the idea we're going to come up with $700 billion without and give a blank check to the Secretary of Treasury without any oversight is just not reasonable. So these conditions, I think you're going to see the ones Barack laid out over 3 weeks, or actually 2 weeks ago. I think you're going to see them incorporated. I think it's going to settle the markets, and we're going to work our way through this. It's a shame we have to be here. But the policies that got us here aren't really what's being debated now. It's how do we stop this slide?
Now, WAMU has more than 60 branches in Central Florida. People who have accounts there are very, very concerned. How is this going to affect them?
Well, it could affect, first of all, their accounts. If they're there's federal deposit insurance, so if their accounts are under $100,000, they are going to be set and fine. The federal government backs those up. But what it really does, it gives uncertainty throughout the whole process. And other banks, people are looking. My wife asked me this morning, she said, my mom, who's retired and has some money in accounts, should we take them out of that bank because only $1,000 can be, I mean, $100,000 can be covered, et cetera. And so I think it's causing great anxiety. That's why it's important we take presidential politics out of this agreement that is being negotiated between Democrats, Republicans, Congress, and the White House. We have to get an agreement that the United States, the financial institutions, and the world thinks is real and is workable. And I think that's within our capacity to do that, as long as we keep presidential politics out of it.
Now, a lot of the discussion on how to solve this financial crisis involves raising taxes to bail out these financial institutions and steady the economy. But just how much more in taxes do you think Americans can stand?
Well, they can't. Middle class people cannot stand any more than taxes. Middle class people need tax relief. What is going to have to go by the wayside is the proposal that John McCain has had, that he wants to add another $300 billion a year in tax cuts for corporate America and for the very wealthy 1% of Americans. They're patriotic, good people, but we're not going to be able to afford to do that. The tax break should be going to the middle class. And let me tell you why. It's not just because, quote, the middle class is good, that kind of thing. It's simple. We're a consumer-driven economy. You have to give people the ability to be able to stay in their homes, be able to pay for their gasoline, be able to be sure that they're going to be able to have a job. Those are all the things that make people secure. And when the middle class has money to spend, it grows the economy. And so all the emphasis should be on the middle class. That is the stabilizing feature of the American economy.